Good morning. Schedule B, Form 1065, Question 4. That question can be a little bit tricky. So let's talk a little bit about that. Should you answer yes or no? You have to answer yes. Your answer should be yes for all 4 questions. And those 4 questions includes your total revenue for 2019. Is it less than $250,000? So let's get to it. If your answer is yes, so you score 1 point right there. The second question, the asset, your company's asset on your balance sheet, was it less than 1 million by the end of 2019? If the answer is yes, then you score 2. Schedule K1. Do you intend to file it on time by the due date? And the due date will be by March 16, or by the date you intend to file it if you are filing extensions. But keep in mind that you need to give Schedule K1 to partners by the end of January. So if your answer is yes, so you score 3. Are you required to file Schedule M? We will come back to Schedule M. If the answer is yes, then you score 4. Your answer for question 4, Schedule B, Form 1065 is yes. And you'll select yes here. It has to be for all of those 4 questions from A to D. And if the answer is yes, then you don't need to. Let's go to the bottom. You don't need to file Schedule L, which is balance sheet. Your company's balance sheet, which is at the bottom here, you don't need to fill it up or to fill it out. You don't need to fill out Schedule M, which is a little bit like income statement, if I will put it that way. So you don't need to fill it out either. Third, you don't need to fill out Schedule M, which is analysis of partners' capital account. You don't need to fill it out either. So those 3 forms at the bottom of Form 1065, you are now required to fill them out if your answer is yes for all 4 questions on Schedule B, question 4. Also, you see them here. You don't need to enter total assets, your company assets amount on item F here. You don't need it here. It's voluntary. And also, you don't need, let's go back down a little bit. To enter any data on item L on Schedule K1. And item L is partners capital account analysis. You don't need to enter any dollar amount here either. So those are things that you won't need to fill out if your answer is yes for all 4 questions under question 4 of Schedule B 1065. But now let's come back to Schedule M3. Are you required to file Schedule M3? How do you find out? It is on IRS 2019 instructions for Form 1065 on page 18. So pretty much your answer should be for either one of those 4 questions here, if I will say questions. So your total assets for your business should be less than 10 million if your total assets, or let's just say when should you file Schedule M3. If your total assets for your business is 10 million or more, you will file Schedule M3. So if any of the following apply. Second, if your revenue for 2019 for your business, your total revenue is 35 million or more, you will file Schedule M3. So, and then they have here Schedule L, that's the balance sheet. So Schedule L, line 14. Let's go take a look at that. Yeah, that's just purely total assets. So total assets on Schedule L, which is, the total asset of your balance sheet, if that's 10 million or more for 2019, you'll file Schedule M3. So if the adjusted amount is 10 million. So now the last question, or the last option, the last condition, if you have a business or an entity that is a partner of your company and has 50% or more of ownership to your company's capital or profit or loss, and they even set it on any day during the tax year of the partnership, you will file Schedule M3. So keep that in mind. If that's just you, the partner that own 50% or more, you are not an entity. But if you have a business that own another business, which is an L.L.C that you are trying to file 1065 for, so a business A has 50% or more ownership in business B, and business B is an L.L.C and you are filing for a Form 1065, then business B will file Schedule M3 because there is an entity, a company, business A, that owns 50% or more of share ownership in that business B. So those are the conditions here, that if any of those 4 applies to your business, to your L.L.C, to your partnership, you are required to file Schedule M3. And if you are required to file Schedule M3, technically, you are required to file Schedule C as well. But there is an exception, which is at the bottom here. So if you are required to file Schedule M3, or you just want to file it yourself, but your total asset in your business is less than 50 million, then you can just fill out Part 1 of Schedule M and fill out Schedule M1. Then you don't need to fill out Part 2 and 3 of Schedule M3. You just fill out Part 1 of Schedule M3 and you switch to Schedule M1. And also, if you are required to fill out Schedule M3, but you have less than 50 million assets in your business, in your LLC or partnership, you are not required to fill out Schedule C, Form 1065 or Form 8916A. So if you are required to file Schedule M3 because any one of those 4 conditions here apply to you, you can fall back on the exceptions here if your total asset is less than 50 million. Thank you for watching. I'm Afiavi Ojune, Marinette Liberman, creators of Liberman Consulting LLC YouTube channel and owners of Nina's Soap. And our website is ninasoap.com. March 16 is the last day to submit your 1065 unless you are planning or filing an extension. Otherwise, you might want to get it ready and send it out. And make sure if you are going to mail it through the post office to have the stamp date of March 16 at the letters on it if you want to file it on time. And remember, if any 4 of the questions on Schedule B is yes, including you are now required to file Schedule M3, then you don't need to file those 3 forms at the bottom of 1065, and you don't need to worry about partner capital account analysis on Schedule K1 or total assets on page 1 of Form 1065. I like to have a version of those in my own for my own record, and I like to fill out some of like Adam L on Schedule K1 and Adam F on page 1 of Form 1065. But that's voluntary. It's just for me to keep track of those data. Other than that, if any one of those 4 conditions apply to you, your answer here should be yes. Thank you.